Now, last week she impressed us with her tequila barbecue skewers, but today Nisha Katona is moving on to gin.
But she's in the kitchen now. It's G&T salmon. It's a Traybake, and it smells amazing. I've held off.
You really have.
Which is not like me.
Not very
So
unlike you.
I'm going in now.
Good, because it did hurt me watching you hold off. I took that quite personally. This, do you like it? I'm looking at your face. Do you like it? I get so excited, Phillip. It's ridiculous. But what's exciting about this is a really home-hewn dish. I'm going to start by making a gin and tonic with no ice, really important. So a nice double gin, my lord, that's a big gin, isn't it? But it needs it, because this is for cooking. So all I'm showing you, honestly, this is how this dish started. I make a coriander and lemon salmon at home. And honestly, it was summer, I had a gin and tonic on the side, and I just tipped the contents of my glass into it, baked it, and it was...
By accident?
Were
you furious? I mean,
because,
what happened?
The smells... So you're getting the... Let me start with this marinade. You're getting the smell, all these fresh smells from the marinade. So we start with a bit of lime juice. So the juice of a lime or a lemon, whatever you have, we need that citrus, because when you're cooking salmon and you start with acid like this, it almost cures the salmon. So instantly the flavours are starting to penetrate into the flesh, and the truth is, if you then left that in the fridge, it would pretty much cure to the point of cooked. So if you leave this for 2 hours, you take it out, it's almost done. You're really just heating it through to burn the gin off.
Right.
So the normal dish would be lime juice or lemon juice, a good heaped teaspoon of coriander powder.
Oh, right.
Because we are making this quite herby and quite light, and that's what coriander does. So it's this really lovely, delicate kind of flavour. Let's mix that in. A bit of oil, because it's like making a moisturiser. Whenever you're making a marinade, it's like making a moisturiser for your face. So a bit of oil slightly slows that curing process, really important. So it's not completely poached through in the fridge, but also it just makes it a much... oil is a great vehicle for flavour.
Yeah.
And it's this emollient that then you can rub into your salmon, and it's just much more amenable. So the oil goes in, and then a bit of garlic. Because, I mean, you think you can leave the garlic out, to be honest, but garlic does give this dish a beautiful punch.
It really does.
And then it's really important to get a bit of lime zest in there, or the lemon zest, whatever's going to give it a little bit more flavour. So when you're choosing limes, you've got the yellow ones, they're softer, they're going to give you more juice. The darker green ones, the zest is tastier.
Is that true?
It's really...
Wow.
So, can you smell that already? The dark green ones are giving you a beautiful zest, so there's more flavour on the outside of the dark green ones. They're just... It's easier to get juice, and it's kind of a slightly sweeter juice that you're getting from the inside. And that was just watching my knuckles here.
Yeah, you be careful.
And do you make sure you get the unwaxed ones?
Unwaxed are always better.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they really are always. It makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
OK, so in with a bit of our lime zest. So what have I got? I've got most of the ingredients. Now, really interesting ingredient, and that is juniper berries.
Yeah.
So you always think of that. So gin, of course, is based on the juniper botanical. But juniper, in the East, they burn... I don't know if you've watched that film recently about the Sherpas in Nepal. In Nepal, they burn juniper as a kind of good luck thing.
Oh, right.
Right across Europe, junipers are a very big deal. And they are marvellous. You get about 8
They smell nice when they burn, then?
They do. They smell beautiful when they burn.
Right.
They taste even better when you cook with them. So anything like... Look what I'm doing. I'm just kind of crushing the bottom.
So are they sort of dried when you get them?
Yeah.
Are they almost like a... Or they're like dehydrated or something?
They're like a peppercorn. So, yes, they are. They're not actually that dehydrated, actually. Very quickly, you get the flavour out of them. Let me get these salmon steaks into here. So they are quite oily. They've got this beautiful botanical oil in them, but they give a dish a kind of instant elegance. So I'm cooking salmon with them. It's great with things like, cabbage. If you're doing vegetarian dishes, juniper gives you this instant, lift. It's amazing. In with my gin and tonic. And all you do is then dress your salmon with the gin and tonic. And do you know what the truth is? Ideally, look at that, lovely amount of juice. I think the juice is the best part of this.
Really yummy.
So I have put them skin side down. The best thing to do is actually marinate them with the flesh side down, because they poach best that way and they cure best that way. And honestly, if you ever want to make kind of smoked salmon or like a lax, this is a great way of doing it. You get your smoked salmon and just leave it in this marinade.
Don't cook it?
Don't cook it.
Lax being...
Gorgeous. Gravadlax.
Gravadlax.
It's, you know, smoked salmon cooked with deal. It's a real Scandinavian thing. So it's...
And that's how you do it? You just leave that now for 24 hours and it'd be done?
For your lax, it would
Yeah.
be done. It would be done because the alcohol's cooking. But, so let's just put a bit of foil over that. That goes in the oven. And it goes in the oven for about, honestly, no more than about 10 minutes. I've got one that's done. Let me just grab that.
It's such a delicate flavour, and yet there's so much going on in there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not overpowering, but there's so many levels of different things.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh, what's that? What's that?
And the smell comes out of it. That's the thing. And can you see, honestly, this is lifetime. That's what I love about this show, is it's lifetime cooking, in a way. OK, it's 8 minutes in the oven, but I've constructed the whole thing.
Yep.
I'm going to plate up now. With rice, it's fantastic. With boiled potatoes, fantastic. But what you do want to do is you really want to capture that juice, because that's where the magic, I think, really happens. You want the salmon so that it's pink inside, slightly pink inside, because that's when it's at its best. Right. Let me grab one of those.
Oh, my God.
Let's grab 2 of those, why don't we?
Well, you've definitely finished yours now, Phil.
I
know.
I've eaten it, Mum.
Good, thank you.
All
It
done,
is
Mum.
so lovely.
I come in and immediately check your plates and forks, don't I? It's ridiculous. I've
You
got to
have no
stop
need
being
to worry
like
there.
this.
I have literally had my lunch.
That is so delicious. Nisha, as
There
always,
you
thank
go.
you very, very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Nice to see you.
And you too.
For all the recipe details, take a look at our This Morning app.